I want to show you stage 3 because it is looking pretty darn good. I'm in love with it, and it's not complete. There are some messy areas, but let me show you. So we ordered 5 yards of River Rock, and this is the rainbow style 1 inch. Obviously there's a lot smaller pieces, which I really didn't want because my dog is going to leave his waste on it, and I didn't want to pick up the pebbles. This is somewhat the size that I wanted. I think this is just a little bit more expensive. Actually, what I had picked was more of a tan color, and it was septic rock. Some places call it septic rock, some places call it river rock, just a different tone. This is a little bit more expensive, probably about $10 a yard more. Here in Texas, I think this is around $75 a yard. We didn't need the 5 yards, we only used 4, and I believe the whole area is around 800 square feet. So excluding the boxes, it turned out to be 4 yards. So again, these are yellow. If you look at the first video I explained, this is yellow pine, and these are all 2x7s. Here they're gonna look like that. That piece of the fence there was just replaced because I think one of the bottom pieces just was really bowed, if that's what you call it, I think. And I'll show you, because it was not set right. That was after, so I need to go back and cut that piece off and extend the gravel back. And we need to stand the fence. But these are 2x4s, and that is because I have the water hose here. I think I'm gonna move the hose over to the corner with one of those swivel items, and then here I'm gonna try to espalier maybe some grapevines, a grapevine or a kiwi vine. We'll see. So all of these are going to get a second layer. I'm going to make them 2 feet tall. The next step would be to fill them. Here, this is flagstone, and this is 2 feet to 3 feet wide. I think the majority are between 2 and 1 though. A couple of them 3 feet, like this one. I really wanted them wide enough for the wheelbarrow to comfortably pass, and we didn't have to go through the river rock, and it works really good. And I think I have about maybe 3 inches in between. That was the goal. I didn't want to fall in the river rock when I was walking, so I wanted to be able to step on 2 pieces. We added lighting. This is deck lighting from Home Depot. They're just placed on here because my husband's gonna come back and put another picket fence post and cover all the wiring. We're gonna dig all that back in, so you won't be able to see any of the wiring. This is what they will look like. These are not set in place yet, so if they're off, it's because they're not screwed on yet. They're gonna be very deep, and I'm so excited because I won't have to do a lot of bending. It's a total of 11 garden beds, and I think the flagstone is about 60 feet. I think we utilized maybe 35 pieces. I don't know how much these were, but the bigger you get them, the more expensive they are. And then if you come over here, these right here are 2x8s. I did them a little bit longer because I just had the room for them to space them in between. On this side over here, I don't have a lot of room. so I wanted to fit as many beds as I could, make it even. Over here in some of these areas, I'm gonna probably add later some containers, some really tall containers, so that I can put something very pretty here, some annuals. I want to put some annuals here too, another container, maybe cover the AC units with some lavender around. These are my visions, but I take recommendations. I did have some fence here, and that was really the original plan for that was to keep my dog in an outdoor area, and he just didn't like it. He howled and cried, and it just never worked. So the fence was really pointless. So we were able to get that removed, and now this just area looks so wide. I didn't even know I had this much space. And I don't want to show this, but I didn't want to put a bed there because of the AC unit shadow. It does get shade there more than over there. So my plans is to leave this area for compost later, so I can hide it by the AC unit, and it's not going to be over there as the focal point. Over here I do have plans on creating later. I already maxed out my budget. I do have plans on making like a really nice potting bench and an area to keep my tools, and probably have some plants here to decorate, more shade tolerant, because I do have, this area has more shade because of the two houses. And I will probably add a little nice bench here or something like that later, so that I can have this view when it's really nice and green and filled with color. So I think that covered everything. The plan is this weekend I get to finish building the boxes and filling them up. So it is December, today's December, sorry, I'm so out of it. It is February 18. And the plan was to have this complete for March, so that in March I can start putting some seeds out, and maybe some of my seedlings, the cold tolerant lettuces, all my herbs that will be going on that end. I have plans to get those started. So stay tuned for stage 4, where I think it's going to be somewhat complete. I do have plans on adding an arbor. I haven't picked that one out yet, but I wanted to focus on finishing the beds and putting the soil, and hopefully I don't go way too over budget. Oh, I didn't want to show you what I just added before we finish here, because I'm super excited about this. Ooh, I am gonna add some green in the back. I just don't know what yet, but I will add some, I think some tall grasses or something. It's a shady area, so I have to do some research and see what works. But that's off topic. Over here, it is almost done. And it took me a while to plan it out in my head, lay it out, and it's a lot of hard work, but it's so worth it. So anyways, thank you so much for sticking around, and we'll see you soon.